All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. Of course, we're trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, really ugly day here to start the month of September. S&P down 2, NASDAQ down 3, VIX up 20% or more. I think it came off the highs by the end of the day, but pretty good dump. Diamond down 1.4 and the Russell down 3 as well. So really good sell here to start the month, and definitely out for some blood here to start off the month of September. Worst performing month out of all months of the year. And a couple of things we'll cover it, the levels here, but before we get too crazy here, I just want to say I've seen that chart probably at least 10 or 15 times today, and what the chart I'm referring to is like the September seasonality. So this isn't sneaking up on anybody, although the market is, selling off pretty hard. It does seem a lot of traders are kind of front running that seasonal weakness here with that first day sell. A lot of the time you get kind of first of the month flow, and it's bullish, especially when you have an up month. So I thought maybe we would add a little bit of a uptick on the open, but they definitely hit it pretty good. We had some data this morning too. ISM, manufacturing, and we had some construction spending that was weaker than expected. ISM prices did uptick, so there was kind of like, I guess you could say, a stagflationary print, although the numbers weren't that out of whack. But you can see here when we got that at 10 a.m., that marked the high in bond notes. So this big rally here in the morning kind of priced that in, and we backed off of the highs, actually dipping a little bit here in the after hours. A couple of things though, we have jobs. So JOLTS tomorrow at 10 a.m., then ADP and jobless claims on Thursday, and of course non-farm payrolls on Friday. If we're down kind of into that, we'll see. Does it kind of go the other way? Does it get priced in? Does somebody know something? Well, somebody always knows something. But this end up just being a liquidity grab. I'm still in the camp that we can get to 5,700, and I know that seems outrageous here, given the outside move and the seasonality, and I know I'm going to get trolled for saying this, but I can still see that happening. So as long as we're above, I would say 55, which we held today. We got the 50 MA and the 20 MA right in there, and we got to bounce off at end of day. I've into a 236, not the greatest support, but the gap window's holding. I do think that is attainable here. I do think we finished the month red. I definitely want to preface that by saying I do think we finished the month red, but I'm kind of in the camp here the market holds up for the next couple of weeks. But we'll see. Definitely pretty good sell. Another reason why I think it's more of a liquidity grabs type action is the volume wasn't even, it wasn't even greater than the volume on Friday. And the volume on Friday was only big because we had that end of month markup, uptick, which happens every month. But if we look at, we're basically at average volume here by the end of the day. I'm doing this video a little late. 55 million, 54 million shares, not exactly distribution. So we'll see what we get here. A lot of dealers long put at 550. They may have gotten assigned. We'll have to see that after the bell. So that's something also that we're watching for. And I think they did. But either way here, pretty good sell to start off the month here. And again, 550 SPY, that's a big level for the market to hold. I showed this on Twitter earlier too, NVIDIA. 110 area, a lot of interest for Friday as well. We did pierce that by a little bit. We might go and test the 618 tomorrow. You can see the 110, 111 lines up right perfectly with the 50% fib, and then you got the 106 and change area, 618. Another reason I say that this could be a little short-term liquidity grab is I did some work on the VIX, and I don't think we're going to go past 25 if we try to do it in the next 2 days. In fact, I think it gets rejected if it tries to gap up tomorrow. That's just based on a proprietary technique. So VX, same kind of thing, probably like 2150, 22. So there's the futures. But pretty good move in volatility. VVIX up nicely. 38%, basically halfway back to the highs. So definitely a big move in vol. I think if it's going to, if this is going to be a sell, you're going to need to, the VIX is going to have to pull back or sideways. You're going to look for sideways action here in the spiders. And then I think it can go down, probably at least for at least 2 days, maybe 3. But if it gets rejected hard, obviously that's going to be, vol selling, which can get us up to that whole round number there, which I still have targeted in. So we'll see if it gets there. If not, again, 5,500 is a big level. So watch that on a closing basis. Got a 382 at 5450. If we break through this, I would assume we're probably going to go test 5,400. But again, these are just short-term levels here. And again, just because I think we can go and make one more high doesn't mean I'm necessarily bullish here in the big picture. I do think we'll see some pressure here into the fall. Again, market's getting a little bit of a bounce after hours. QQQ, we did close below that gap window, so that's obviously a negative. And you can see we went right into a 382 though, and we're popping, basically closed right on it. Next levels, next fib is a 50%, 454.5 to 455. But we'll see. Tomorrow's going to tell us a lot. I mean, if we have a decent day tomorrow, a gap and go, you can still just make a case it's a pullback pattern. Seen these type. I'm only bringing this up because I've seen these types of head fakes before. All right, diamond down 6 points, so pretty good sell, but still just off all-time highs. It closed the month at a new all-time high too on Friday, but pretty good dump there. Trend is still up. Nice spacing between the moving averages. And again, defensives were strong all day, and that's kind of Dow stocks. XLP new all-time high. XLU, I think that is a new all-time high. Oh no, not close. Close to new all-time highs. And then XLV, I believe, is new all-time highs. Another sector nobody really cares about, but is just a powerhouse, as insurance stocks too. New monthly all-time closing high there. This is IAK. So a lot of these defensives, Dow stocks are performing better, as we know. Russell losing that green bar on a close, never a good sign. But again, I think as long as it holds 210, it could still firm up. And I like what it did on the monthly too, with that big test candle and then rallying back. But Russell on the weaker side, SMH down 7.5. You don't see that very often. But that's your big negative here for stocks, is the semis are weak. You want to see it hold this, 220, 200 moving average. This is very common, by the way, with the 200 MA to pierce it once, come up, and then come back for it again, and then kind of put in a W. Again, that would be kind of like your bull case, W, and then up like that. But it is very common to hit the 200 twice. I talked about this a lot last year, and there's more so on SPX, but you can see how it basically got there, it came back down, and it was kind of like a false breakdown. I think the ES, yeah, the ES adjusted, what was it? NQ didn't quite do it, but I've seen many examples of that previously though. So we'll see, but yeah, that's obviously support anyway. 216 to 220, SMH weak. IGV was very strong until the market really, the bottom fell out. You can see here, really for the first hour and a half of the day, it held up pretty well relative to the rest of the market. Look at the market just hemorrhaging. And IGV held up well until, everything, just selling pressure just was too much, but it keeps holding this trend line. So it retested the 20. This is not a bad pullback pattern here. Even on the weekly, the trend is nicely up too. IGV is still a strong sector. The selling today was mostly relegated. I mean, everything is red, but the worst of it was certain Mag 7 names and semis. Like there was sectors that were doing okay. Like even like the transports today. You still have a bull inside bar here. Power bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inside days. So there's certain sectors that are a lot better than others. And it's not all of technology that's weak. XBI was down pretty good today, but at one point it was up nicely. So it's not like it was just a straight sell across the board. And honestly, XBI keeps hammering on 102.50 here too. But anyway, okay, let's get over to rates here. So interest rates down, obviously. We'll see what the jobs data says. I think they're going to cook the books here. That's why I don't want to get too bearish. They'll revise it down, I'm sure, but the market never cares about that. But 10s actually, you know, they came off the lows of the day here on 10-year yield and 30s. I'm seeing like the possibility for a squeeze here. I'm not playing it, but I'm seeing that possibility. If we can get back above 4, I think we go to 420 really fast. The 2s I'm not as enthused about. It's weaker. We know the Fed's cutting. And that's another thing too. Everyone knows the Fed's cutting, so everybody's piled into this, you know, the long end, which should be in the short end, if anything. But I think that's why recession's so hard at times. It's not like it sneaks up on anybody. And everybody gets piled into these trades, and then it becomes a pain trade until the pain ends, and then it does what it's originally supposed to. But anyway, XHB down $4 here. That is a drop of 3.4. So ugly candle here. Outside move down, but again, weekly still fine. So zooming out, home builders are still in okay shape. Here's another really strong sector. This sector just does not go down, at least lately. Down 5 cents today on VNQ. Full inside bar above all the moving averages. I think this can go to 97, maybe even 100. So commercial real estate, really strong here. XLF, here's your big, so here's the thing that can offset to a degree that the semi's weakness. Yeah, XLF was down, but that's 34 cents. It made a new all-time high intraday. KRE was down today, but bull inside bar above all the moving averages on the daily. So financials holding up. So that's your big positive for bulls here. Broker dealers down 1.9, but I mean, it's at all-time highs. So financials still holding up. And I think, yeah, JPM was down a little bit today. Outside move there. Goldman down. I think Berkshire made a new all-time high. A little tail candle there, so be careful with that. But XLF still hanging in there. KRE still looks good. Oil got pounded, down $3. New low, local low rather. Not by much, but just by a little bit at least. What's interesting to me is that XLE is the positive divergence here. Is that just because Exxon pays a dividend and people are hiding in Exxon and Chevron? Maybe. It's possible. They're defensives. But you also got it in XOP too. And OIH is the weaker one, but I don't think this goes much past 280, 275 personally. Yeah, I know we're below the wedge, but I'm looking at other things. So I'm looking at that monthly power bar that we've been consolidating inside of. But oil, I don't even have a really good level. I'm just going to say 66. That's like my best. You know, you got to pivot here at 68. You got this micro. I wouldn't even call it a double bottom because it's not really at the lows. But I mean, you can see kind of an inverted cup and handle type look here. I would just give it the downside bias to like 66 and change. I have not taken a directional trade in oil in a while, outside of maybe like a 1 or 2 day hold. I don't have a good read on it. It's sideways. But energy weak across board. You see CCJ even down 7%. That can still make a higher low. It's down. It's ugly candle, but it can still make a higher low. You get about to hit the 786. It could go to double bottom too and put it a W. Seen that happen plenty of times. But definitely ugly. URNM also ugly. So far no follow through, but I mean, this can come, here's your weekly 200, right? You can come up here, spike that, make a new low, and then head back up. I've seen that happen many times. So again, don't write everything off here just because we had one down day. Your NJ down 10% on volume though, that's definitely a weaker here. So the junior's much weaker. All right, nat gas had a really good day today. I know we some traders took this in the trading room earlier. We had a buy level around 208, 210. I missed it, but really good rally there off the lows, V shape, and close right at the highs of the day. So again, this should be about done selling for the season. Like I said previously, it did roll over. It never made a new low though, and maybe even have kind of a W type pattern starting to build there on the V contract. I think this should trade mostly up into November. But right now, still got to get back above 227 and change. Dollar index, another rally day. So that's 4 in a row now. And I told you guys it was getting attractive here. I was really hoping it would go a little bit lower. Got close to the weekly 200. I mean, you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits of 101 or so since January 23. And again, you know, the data was supposedly so bad today, but the dollar was still green. So again, just forget the narratives and just trade the charts. But dollar up here, I wouldn't rule it out coming down for 99.50 though. But it's probably going to stall out at 102, 102.15. Gold held up really well. Sold early and then came back. So that's bull market behavior, right? Bullish inside bar on the daily above all the moving averages, right? What I don't like is GDX was down big. It did just reconnect with the 50 MA though, so could be a dip buy. We'll see what it does here. Silver was weaker, much weaker. It did come off the lows. I'm just waiting for a pattern on this, so I'm not doing anything with it yet. I think it will be a very good buy soon. SIL also down almost 5%. Platinum down quite a bit. That's a lower low there. The next level is probably around, I'm going to say 880. That's if they follow through on the downside. And then palladium's still holding up. So not really that big of a down day for palladium. Copper, they finally stopped my runner out this morning at like 2 in the morning. So roll over there, and I talked about this possibility. So we had a nice falling wedge breakout right there. So if they want to keep going, you know, we get up into this pivot here. But the longer it takes, like the more it just gets weaker. And that's kind of what happened. So this could roll over. I haven't even done any more levels on this, honestly. We'll see. It's gonna test 4 again. You got a double bottom there, kind of. If that holds, you know, you could put in a W. But I'm out of that trade though, and I made money on all legs. So. All right, Bitcoin just been in a range for 6-7 days. So after that little generational sell-off that happened, that apparently is the end of Bitcoin as we know it, but it hasn't done anything. So you can make a case you got a bear inside bar there. It's certainly possible. You got the green bar low around 55, and then like some pivots at 54. Those are your next levels there, and then, you know, really 50,000 if it wants. That's if that plays out, though. I'm still really, really partial to this big weekly pattern here. So I still really like this setup. Even like on the bi-weekly, that looks really tight. And the monthly, which you guys know I like. And again, this monthly 20 MA is coming. It's not going to go down, right? Unless we crash, right? So we're consolidating through time, right? Not price. And this moving average is just catching up to price. So I think sooner or later that reconnect happens. But yeah, Bitcoin down a little bit today. Wasn't down nearly as much as the market was though. Everybody keeps telling me it's leveraged NASDAQ. Well, why couldn't it take out the lows from last week? It was down less than the NASDAQ was. That was down half of as much as the NASDAQ was. So anyway, all right, markets here. Again, getting a little bit of a bounce in the after hours. At least the Qs are. Yeah, Qs are a little bit here. But either way, we'll see what we get. Again, 5,500 is a big level. Tag that area, and we'll see if those puts get assigned. But yeah, we'll see. I'm watching that area tomorrow. We also got jobs, 10 a.m. jolts. And then Thursday, obviously, jobless claims, ADP. And then Friday, non-farm payroll. So lots of data here to move this market around and whip us back and forth. We also got Broadcom earnings at Thursday afternoon. Big semiconductor, big major player. And NVIDIA just set the bar low for them, too. So anyways, I'll wrap it up here, guys. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. See you guys all tomorrow.